Well, the battle in Texas on the age verification law that was passed there, that's been going back and forth, that it's been paused, been unpaused, paused again. Well, it's being heard once again at the Fifth Circuit of Appeals. If you haven't gone over to XBiz, yes, it is an adult website. It carries a lot of news from the adult industry, and it has both what's coming out on adult films, who's in production, and stuff like that. You have that in, and then of course you have behind the scenes, the industry things that are going on, court cases, documentaries, all that stuff that you would normally get. If you're interested in hearing about the adult industry, this is one of the places to go. But today we're hearing from the over at the Free Speech Coalition that their arguments are being heard in the Fifth Circuit concerning the challenge for the age verification. We're going to read this directly on there. Gustav Turner is the writer on this. A three-judge panel of the Fifth Circuit Appeals heard arguments regarding the injunction against enforcement of the Texas controversial age verification law, which mandates that adult websites post anti-porn propaganda. Texas authorities asked the panel to lift the injunction, which was obtained by August 31st by Free Speech Coalition and other plaintiffs. HB 1181 was passed by Texas legislator with a bipartisan support in May and was scheduled to go into effect September 1st. As XBiz reported, on September 21st, the Fifth Circuit judge issued an administrative stay of the injunction in a two-sentence ruling that offered no details or explanation. The injunction issued by senior U.S. District Judge David Ezra, a Ronald Reagan appointee, blocks the Texas Attorney General from enforcing the Republican-authorized anti-porn verification law while the case is litigated. Judge Ezra agreed with the plaintiffs that HB 1181 violates the First Amendment by forcing websites to speak Texas preferred messages. The health advisories that he determined were somewhat deceptive because the state had not shown its Health and Human Services Commission had made medical findings to back its claims, the Courthouse News reported. And this is the truth. One thing you got to remember, all these little situations where they said, well, it causes rape, it causes, sexual addiction and all this, there is no back findings for this. Most of these, what they call it, the reports that are done by the supposedly universities and professionals and all that, there are no backings to it. This is just somebody saying, well, this is what happens. But when you ask true experts, they'll tell you, they say, no, I'm sorry. Not enough research has been done. The research that has been done proves it against. This is the same arguments that we had in the 90s about video game violence, violence on television, the music industry, how dangerous the music industry is, the lawsuits that have happened and occurred that have been dismissed out of the courts. There was that one particular case back in the 90s, Judas Priest was sued for their 1997 cover of one particular song that they said there was subliminal messages that caused the death of two young men. But the thing about it is, these men were suicidal to begin with. They were drinking, they were smoking marijuana, they closed themselves out, they were depressed and all that. And the parents were saying, well, there were these subliminal messages and stuff like that. You could hear it and stuff.
It came from the Judas Priest album, according to Dr. Wilson Bryan Key, a professor of marketing who has written extensively on subliminal messages. He says the song Better By You, Better Than Me contains the barely audible words, "Do it," repeated over and over.
And each time "do it" is increased in hysterical intensity. So it's "do it, do it, do it, do it." And we pulled 12 of those out of that one song.
Dr. Keaton sees images of sex and death in all kinds of things, from the Ritz cracker to 17th century art.
Like that. But, you know, the proof of the pudding that came out is if you listen to songs, you know, or particular people saying things, reading things off, sometimes you can mistaken a word or a saying or a musical chorus to be something that it isn't, and it was proved in court. It was proved in court. You know, you have those who just basically, they want to be the arbiter of everything. They want to be the Puritan to get rid of, you know, the evil in the world.
Who could trick us into doing that? Could have been Satan.
You know, that's what they want to do. Continue reading on. Judge Ezra's reasoning, which mentioned Section 230 protections, also questioned Texas' approach to age verification technologies, pointing out the risk of accidental disclosure, hacks, and leaks a la Ashley Madison. And it's true. You know, if you didn't catch my other video about this, you know, the Ashley Madison hack, a lot of people, information got leaked out by a hacker group. You know, it's very easy for someone to go in and say, hey, listen, let's hack this place, grab all the information, because there's not enough protection by the people that are going to handle the age verification. You know, there's no way. There's no freaking way. You know, on Wednesday, Texas Assistant AG John Ramsey claimed Judge Ezra misunderstood how age verification works. Representing the website operators who were among the plaintiffs who originally sued for the injunction, attorney Derek Schaefer cited Supreme Court precedent that he said established that HB 1181 is subject to strict scrutiny, Courthouse News reported, adding that the strict scrutiny standards apply in cases where law infringes on fundamental rights and requires legislations to be narrowed, tailored, and at least restricted, meaning to further a compelling government interest. Schaefer also appealed to the standard that struck down the Child Online Protection Act in 1998. In that case, Courthouse News reported that the Supreme Court specifically named content filtering as a least restrictive alternative to anti-obscene measures and noted that Texas lawmakers had provided no explanation as to why they had considered filtering and found it wanting. Content filtering, Schaefer adds, puts the responsibility where it should be, in the home and on the parents. The three circuit judges, George W. Bush appointee Jennifer Walker Elrod, and Ronald Reagan appointees Jerry Smith and Patrick Higginbotham, did not say when they will rule on the Texas appeal. FSC Director Allison Bowden told XBiz, "We are optimistic that the Fifth Circuit will uphold the District Court Judge well-reasoned rule that HB 1181 is unconstitutional and should be prevented from going on to effect in Texas." This is right. When it comes to the internet, is the same thing as broadcast television and cable. If your child is watching something he shouldn't be, you should confront him and explain to me why he shouldn't be watching it. I mean, damn, in televisions they put devices built into some of these TVs to block certain channels. You can block channels. You can go to the cable company and block those channels itself. You could put a PIN code in that will block these channels. And it's the same thing with the internet. The internet out there, there's plenty of software, including if you look on your antivirus, if you have one of the home suites of these antivirus programs, software that you have, there are ways of blocking certain websites. And there are other programs that do it. Let me tell you, if you work in a company, a lot of companies put blocks on websites that you cannot access certain things. I've been in companies like that. I've had to, the funny part is I've had to go to corporate to tell them, it says, listen, this is not a site that should be blocked. This is a site that we need. So basically, they look at certain words, they look at certain what's on that site, what's advertised on that site, and block that particular site. You type in something like, X video or something like that, a block will come up across the screen. It's very simple. It doesn't cost $1 million to get that put into your computer. Some computers already have it. Some of the some like Google and other ones have safe search programs built into their directories. You could go in there and say if they type in certain things, it's not part of the safe search. That basically, safe search will block those particular sites or will not show the photo that's on there that might be explicit. The government should not be involved with age verification at all. At all. They say, well, it's about part of child trafficking and we're protecting children. No, what you're doing, and this is some of the people that are out there, that's on the left, it's on the right, sometimes a little bit in between as well, that basically they want to censor the internet. They want to censor the information. You've already seen this. This happened during COVID. You saw the information that got censored. They want to control this. This is what's happening in the United Kingdom. And this is what's going to happen in Canada as well. And it's going to happen in other countries, Australia. It's going to happen in France. It's going to happen in many places throughout the world. And the United States is next. Unless we do fight this. It violates the Constitution. Some people say, well, it's not the Constitution because it's not porn. It's not that we're talking about porn. It's not that they're using porn as a red herring against the situation. Because if you'll read a lot of these bills, they mention it as adult content. What is adult content? Adult content is media, it's books, it's photos that is tailored to people over the age of 18. So that means, they'll start at the pornography, they'll start going after the anime, then they'll start to go after the R-rated movies. They'll start with the ones that have sex in it, a body double, Body Heat, Dress to Kill, Red Shoe Diaries, many of those on there, Caligula. And then they'll start to go after the horror films, the real bloody stuff, and move their way into the action films. See, people don't realize that. And then they'll go after the comedy as well. People like Dave Chappelle and many others. We could end up back at the 19th because this is what they want. They want to put in these anti-obscenity laws back in place that the Miller's test removed. George Carlin and Lenny Bruce were arrested for comedy. Remember that, for telling jokes. Yes, you may say, well, the language was a little, but he was still telling jokes. Comedians do have lines that they do cross. They shock the person in the audience. But the thing about it is, that's what comedians do. And it's funny because they bring out the light and how crazy life is. People criticize Blazing Saddles, but
hey, boys, look what I got here. Hey, where are the white women at?
They like saying, oh, it's racist, stuff like that. No, it is a movie about basically making fun of racism. It's a joke. It's a total joke. I tell people, they say, well, no, they have, the black guy. They say, did you watch the movie? No. Go watch the movie and then come back and talk to me about that. And you see many people on YouTube that are starting to watch Blazing Saddles, and some of the things you hear on their reactionaries says, wow, this was a lot better than what people told me. this made fun of racism. And that's plain anyone's, that's what comedians do. They make fun of things that are going around the local, what's going on in the news, politicians, actors, actresses, movies, things that people do, crazy things that do. Now you say, so what does that have to do with the age verification? But see, that's the thing. If you start to block one site on there, then you're going to go after every other site that you deem obscene. Because they say, well, we're protecting the children, And they say, well, we don't want them to see Dave Chappelle on Netflix. So we'll put an age verification on the Netflix channel on top of what you got to pay monthly. Think about that for a minute. Could you imagine that if you have to put an age verification identification on a site that you're using your credit card to pay for as an adult, and now you got to give more information? Think about that for a minute. But who am I to say but a madman with the show?
Thanks for watching. Before you go, please comment, like, and share this video. Also, if you haven't yet, please subscribe as this helps the reach of our channel. Finally, as a content viewer, you have that ability to help support this and many other channels. Especially now more than ever since the passing of a new law in the United Kingdom that will diminish the reach of many channels and affect our advertisers. If you wish to help grow this channel by financial support, you have two ways. There are two links in the description below. The first will send you to a pay site where you can make a monetary donation. The second will send you to our gear store where you can purchase t-shirt, mugs, and other specialty items. Any additional discounts will be listed on the main page. Once again, thank you for watching and your support.